morning, mother hens. So today I've decided to do a video. Sorry about that, someone's playing. I decided to do a video today to talk about making decisions and being confident in your decisions as a parent. This is something I think I've only just started to get the hang of, and I'm not even fully there yet. Spencer is going to be a year old next week, and I still do make decisions and think, was that the right thing to do? How is this going to affect him? You know, all of those kind of things. And I think I probably worry a lot more than what a lot of other people do, especially like my husband and things. He's very much got the attitude that if Spencer is happy, then that's all that matters. So I just want to talk to you about that. As a new mum, it is really scary. You bring home this tiny human being that you've had no training for. You haven't got a qualification in bringing up a child. You have had no training. You just come out of the hospital where you're surrounded by people, if you've had a birth at hospital, where you're surrounded by people that know what they're doing. All of a sudden, you're at home, bam, that's it. This little person, everything that happens to them is down to you, and that is massively scary. That scared the life out of me. Spencer was in hospital a little while after he was born. He was 4 weeks premature, so we had to have observations, and they were worried about risk of infection because my waters broke 24 hours before I actually went into labour because I was induced. So we had to be observed, and then he had jaundice, so we had that as well. So making decisions were really worried me. I worried that he wasn't going to be well, or we were going to have to he's fine now, or we were going to have to go back to hospital or anything like that. And it is such, I think, such a big daunting feeling, but I promise you, the longer you're a parent, and I think as well, the more children you have, the more confident you get in, I'm doing this because it's best for my child. I am mum, I know best. Come here then. Come and sit with mummy. There we go. Did you see my yoga pants there? That's why I love YouTube videos. Got my top on, makeup, hair, yoga pants and slippers on the bottom. Okay, so as I was saying, it is really daunting. So I don't want any new mums to be panicking and thinking, oh, I'm so worried, you know. I think everyone is going to have an opinion. Parents, you know, friends, other mums, everyone's going to have an opinion and everyone's going to do something different. But I think if you're happy with your decision and that your baby is happy, and obviously as long as a midwife or a doctor or health visitor hasn't strongly advised against it, I don't see it being a problem. I weaned Spencer early. The government recommendation is wean them at 6 months. You want to get back down and play? Go on then. No? What's this? Ooh. I weaned him at 6 months. The reason for this was he was showing all of the signs of weaning, and he was an extremely hungry baby. He loved food. He always wanted to try and grab food off of our plates and everything like that. I started really slowly. I started with like porridge, and I did that like once a day for like a few weeks, and then I'd add in a little bit more, and I did it really gradually. But I'm really pleased that I did that because he loves food, he loves different flavours. That we haven't found anything yet that he doesn't eat or doesn't like, but he just loves food, and I'm really pleased with that. He loves fruit, he loves vegetables, he loves sweet things. You know, he's a really happy eater, and I'm really pleased that I did that then. I did a lot of research into that because it was something I was worried about. My mum, my nan, my husband's mum all said, you know, he's ready. And then I read about the government recommending 6 months and everything like that. And then I read an article by a lady, I can't remember her name at the moment, but she actually creates a lot of baby food products, and she also does booklets and things, online recommendations, all things like that. She's really famous. I'm a bit bad with names. But she actually said between the ages of 4 months and 6 months, when babies develop their taste buds, and actually to introduce food then is really good because it means that you're not missing that point of them sort of accepting new tastes. If I can find that article, I will pop that in the link below. And Spencer's been really great since. Obviously you shouldn't do it before the 17 weeks because apparently their digestive system isn't developed enough. But when my health visitor came the other day for his 10-month checkup, she was really kind of, well, you know, 6 months, it must be 6 months. The government guidelines say 6 months. But I have a really happy, healthy baby who loves his food. So although, you know, I did feel a bit like, okay, I made that decision and I'm pleased I made that decision because it's really benefited him. I'm really, you know, I'm happy with that. It was the same with breastfeeding. I breastfed, that's all I wanted to do was breastfeed. So I breastfed as soon as he was born for the first few days, and then they told me that he had jaundice, and the only way we could sort of start to get rid of it was by flushing it out of his system. So I would breastfeed, and then I would bottle feed him, so top him up with formula, which I was devastated about, which now sounds ridiculous, but that was something that I didn't want that. I've been told that, oh, once you give them a bottle, they'll never take the breast again, or your milk supply will run low, and all of these things. But I topped him up, and then I would sit and express, and I would do that every 2 hours. So on a 24-hour period, every 2 hours. And it killed me. It absolutely killed me. He was such a hungry baby. Although he was premature, he was so hungry. And I just, in the hospital when I expressed, I produced so much milk and it was fantastic. As soon as I got home, I could express for an hour and not even get 5 millilitres. It was ridiculous. I was trying to eat right, I was trying to drink right, and I think where I was getting myself so worked up about not producing enough milk, the stress of it wasn't helping, obviously. So after 2 weeks of really trying, 2 weeks of expressing and breastfeeding and formula feeding and just having a really hungry baby, I decided to move on to formula, like solely formula. And this was something that I was really upset about, which now looking back is ridiculous, because as long as your baby's fed and happy, then it doesn't matter what you're feeding them. I was formula fed, my mum was formula fed, my nan was formula fed, my husband was formula fed, all of his brothers, and so was his mum and dad. So, and we're all fine-ish. So, it's really not a big deal, but that was something I really wanted to do. When the health visitor then came to see me, after I made that decision to formula feed my baby, I had so much anxiety about her coming. I was so worried that she was going to question me and tell me what a terrible mother I was, and how dare I take him off the breast and put him on a bottle, all of these things. And I was reeled up and ready for a fight, and I was waiting for her to come and get here and just put her in her place. And I got built myself up so much. She came in and said, how are you feeding your baby? And I said, I've decided to move on to formula. She ticked a box and said, okay. That was it. And I was like, oh. I said, I was so worried about it. And she said, why? You're feeding your baby. And now I look back, and it was such a great decision. Spencer did so well with the bottle. He put on lots of weight because he was a very tiny baby. He was £5.13. He then lost quite a bit because obviously I wasn't producing very much milk. Again, it was the early days, and now I understand that it takes a little while for your body, the milk supply, to kick in and everything. But he lost the weight and hadn't picked it back up, which was a worry of mine. So I then decided to give him formula, and he picked right up. He put on lots of weight. He was so happy. He was so content. He slept really well, and it really reassured me that decision was the right decision to make. And I think that's the thing. And I think as you go forward as a mother, you do then start realising that, you know, just because it's not the same as everyone else doesn't mean it's wrong. You do what's right for you and your baby. And I can't stress that enough. And also, don't be afraid to say things. You know, if you're at a class and everyone's saying, oh yeah, my baby sleeps 9 hours, my baby sleeps 9 hours, don't feel like you've got to say yours does too, just because they are. You know, motherhood is not a competition. Your children are all going to do the same things, but all at different stages. No one that I know of is still crawling now. No adult that I know still crawls. So whether your baby starts walking at 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, they will walk. So when they grow up, they will always compare themselves to others, like we all do. And when they're at school, they will always be like, oh, so-and-so's in this reading group, or so-and-so's got this badge at karate. But right now, they don't need to have that, and you don't need to have that feeling of having to compete with every other mum, because you don't. Your baby is so special, and they will do all of those things. They will talk, they will walk, they will, you know, say mum, dad, dog, cat. They will do all of that just in their own time. We will do things differently. I didn't pass my driving test till I was 19. You know, my husband passed his driving test 2 weeks after turning 17. Doesn't mean that one of us is better than the other. Obviously, I'm a better driver. But, you know, so just try and relax, take a step back, try and be confident in the decisions that you make for your child as a mum. And also, stop worrying about everyone else's baby. And I know it's hard, I know it's frustrating, and I know we all go on Facebook and so-and-so's doing this, or so-and-so's got another tooth, and my baby's not even got a tooth yet, and all of this. But unless your health visitor or your midwife or your doctor is concerned about any development issues, then you just be there for your baby. Just love them and support them and have fun with them. And I really think that is so important. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I am doing these videos for the Mother Hen Club, which is a fantastic club that is designed to support mums and mums-to-be. They do support groups, workshops, mummy retreats, all sorts. Definitely go and check those out, and I'll pop the link below for that. I am also a blogger under the name Mama Matter. I will pop in my Instagram link and my blog post link as well, so definitely check those out. I talk about sort of everything, baby and other bits too. So thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you soon. Put that down. Say bye. Clever boy.